3 each for Overton and Leach give Somerset the upper hand in Chelmsford. It's been a sensational start to the season for Somerset. The side have picked up 5 victories and 1 draw from their opening 6 games and enjoy a 24-point lead over Hampshire at the top of Division 1. Keep up this form and they could pick up their first ever county championship title. Hosts Essex are part of the chasing pack amongst a group of 3 sides looking to challenge the league leaders. Their innings victory over Hampshire last time out was a real statement of intent from the side, their solitary defeat so far this season coming against the same opposition. It would be the home side who won the toss, electing to bat in warm conditions at Chelmsford. Nick Brown and Alistair Cook made a positive start as they began to play their way in. But Somerset would find an important breakthrough as the Essex total passed 50. Brown bowled for 29 by Jamie Overton. It did little to derail the innings, Cook showing trademark patience and technique to bat his way towards 50, almost under the radar. And they reached lunch at 110 for 1, a good start against the league leaders. Cook's 50 came shortly after the restart. Groenewald 2 straight, the former England captain turning it into the leg side for 4. Overton would pick up another wicket, Tom Wesley edging through to Davies to depart for 36. Lawrence could do little better when he joined Cook as he was trapped to LBW for 5 by Lewis Gregory. And the Somerset seamer would pick up another. Bapara chipping to Brooks at mid-on, the former England all-rounder out for 7. Captain Tendescata would join the well-set Cook at the crease and the pair were happy to knock it into the gaps in the field and accumulate. But the Dutchman's stay would be brought to an end for 10. Overton again with the wicket. The skipper trapped LBW for 10. Whilst all around him teammates had lost their wickets cheaply, Cook batted on, finding the boundary with some trademark shots to get closer to 100. He finally fell for an important 80, caught by Overton off the bowling of Groenewald. And they went to the tea break soon afterwards, the score 192 for 6, the session belonging to Somerset after a good start from the hosts. Shortly after the interval, Essex lost another. Wheater caught behind by Davies for 21 off the bowling of Groenewald. But Harmer and Siddle would stay together long enough to see Essex pass 200. The veteran Australian wouldn't stick around for long after that, though his time at the crease brought to an end, trapped LBW by Leach for 2. Harmer would follow, caught behind for 15, Leach again with the wicket. And he'd repeat the feat to remove Porter, the number 11, out for a duck, Essex all out for 216. What had been a promising start had become a difficult afternoon, and the hosts had never really recovered after the loss of Cook. But with bowling conditions prevailing, they had a chance to put the league leaders under pressure before the close of play. Runs were hard to come by in the early stages, the opening pair of Abel and Ali unable to find any fluency. And the pressure told, Porter picking up the wicket of the Pakistan international Ali, caught behind for 8. Groenewald would join Abel as night watchman, and he helped the Somerset opener guide the side to the close of play without further loss. 32 for 1, the score at stumps. Essex will be disappointed with the manner of their collapse. Cook had played well for his 80 but needed someone to bat with him. Too many of the home side's batsmen falling cheaply, and Somerset ended the day in the ascendancy. The wicket of Ali in the closing stages of the day's play, though, was a setback the league leaders could have done without, but they have edged in front at the end of day 1 in this contest. Somerset collapse as Porter and Beard bowl Essex into contention against league leaders. Essex hadn't enjoyed the best of days against the league leaders on day 1. Alistair Cook's innings stood head and shoulders above any of his teammates as they were bowled out for 216. But they'd found an important breakthrough late in the day. Somerset opener Azhar Ali removed for 8. With the threat of rain in the air amidst hot and humid conditions in Chelmsford, Essex would go into day 2 knowing they had a chance to put their opponents under pressure. Initially, Somerset negotiated the bowling of Siddle and Porter well, the total ticking past 50. But as Abel found his stride, Porter would strike. Abel out LBW for 36. That would be a sign of things to come, as a magnificent spell of bowling from Aaron Beard rocked Somerset. Night watchman Groenewald was the next man to go, caught by Westley at third slip for 6. Beard would have Hildreth next, caught for 8 as he looked to pull. And Banton would follow just 2 balls later, caught behind for 2. Beard's brilliant spell continued in his next over. Davies caught by skipper Tendescata for 6. The Chelmsford-born bowler with 4 wickets to his name after his first 15 balls of the match. Rain saw lunch taken early, but Somerset had lost 5 wickets in the first session for just 20 runs, going into the interval still 126 runs behind their hosts. After a rain-extended break, Somerset looked for a good start when play resumed. The delay draining Essex of all their momentum, whilst Bartlett and Gregory took their side past 100. Just when it looked like they were starting to take control, Essex would fire back into life, Porter picking up his 3rd of the day, Gregory out for 14. Bartlett would follow, trapped LBW by Siddle for 25, Somerset's collapse continuing. And Overton would join him, caught in the deep for 10. "14 balls later, and the innings was over. Brooks bowled by Porter for 1. Championship chasing Somerset all out for 131, trailing their hosts by 85. Beard's blast broke the back of the away side's resistance, while the last 4 wickets were taken for just 17 runs, Porter finishing with 5 for 51. Where Somerset struggled, Essex excelled. Brown took on the role of aggressor and scored quickly, with Cook playing the anchor role at the other end. 11 overs in, the total grew to 40 and the lead extended past 120. But Brown's bullish batting would in the end be costly, as he was caught in the gully off Groenewald for 29. The side would make it through to tea without further loss, going in at 52 for 1, with Cook once again looking composed, now joined by Tom Westley. But Westley wouldn't be able to stay with the former England captain for long, removed after the restart, caught by Leach off the bowling of Overton for 12, as he tried to negotiate a short, sharp rising delivery. The wicket was an indication of how tough the wicket was to bat on, underlined by the loss of Lawrence shortly after the home side passed 100, caught behind for a quickfire 21. Cook's innings had been slow and steady, taking him to within 1 shot of a 50, but there'd been a repeat of his first innings heroics, caught at second slip by Overton for 47 off the bowling of Groenewald. Essex were running the risk of allowing Somerset a route back into the game, and when Ryan Tendescata fell, that risk started to become reality. The skipper caught behind for 2, the Essex lead now over 200 though. The door opened further as Ravi Bopara was caught by subfielder Dom Bess at short mid-wicket, another for Overton. But with the innings threatening to fall apart, Essex were given respite by the way of bad light. The clouds had drawn in, the umpires took the players off and stumps would be called. Ending the day on 164 for 6, Essex will be pleased with their efforts despite a flurry of late wickets as Somerset tried to claw their way back into the game. Groenewald had done most of the damage for the team top of the division, his 3 wickets including both openers and the captain. But with a lead of 249 and 4 wickets in hand, this match is still very much Essex's to lose. Brilliant Beard bowls Essex to day 3 victory. Somerset started day 2 with all the momentum, having bowled Essex out for 216. The hosts turned the game around yesterday though, getting Somerset all out for 131 before tea and ending the day in a commanding position, 249 ahead with 4 second innings wickets still in hand. With a good morning session, they could take the game away from the league leaders entirely. But the host start was quite the opposite. Harmer, dismissed within the first few overs, bowled through the gate without making a run. And things turned from bad to worse for Essex when 2 overs later, Siddle was gone, besting the last man out by just 1, gone for a single after just 9 minutes at the crease. Aaron Beard came in to support Wheater, but it was the settled batsman who was the next to fall, this time off Gregory, who picked up his 44th first-class wicket of the season. And just 8 balls later, Essex's batting exploits were over for the match, Groenewald bagging his fifer by having Porter caught in the slips. The hosts were all out for 183 and had squandered the opportunity to put the game beyond doubt, and now the door was open for Somerset to compose themselves and chase 269 over a day and a half to win. But they couldn't settle quick enough. The dangerous Abel out with the second ball of the innings gone for none, caught and bowled by Porter. And their momentum was totally lost when their other opener Ali was gone just 11 balls later. Porter the man with the ball again, the batsman swiping wildly and edging to the slips. Hildreth and Banton sought to steady the rocking ship, knocking 4s from Siddle before blasting Beard all the way. But the momentary joy for the batsman was over after the first change of bowlers. Harmer brought on and immediately taking the wicket of Banton, who scored a quick-fire 24. Somerset needed Hildreth and Bartlett to start scoring steadily, and they managed to pick up boundaries from Siddle. The bowler exacted his revenge just 2 balls later, removing Hildreth for 32 and putting Essex firmly in the driver's seat in the game going forward. That wicket brought lunch and an end to a phenomenal morning session for the bowlers. 8 wickets had fallen, and if Somerset continued to crumble, the game could well be over before the final day. And the wickets kept tumbling after the break. Davis had barely digested his lunch when he nicked to the slips and walked back to the pavilion without registering a single run. Bartlett was the next casualty. This time just 6 balls later, he went off Porter, edging to the gully for a meagre contribution of 8. An excellent start to the afternoon became an incredible one when Porter had his 4th of the innings, dismissing Jamie Overton for a duck. It became clear the game was something extraordinary when Gregory began to cut loose, smashing 3 consecutive 6s off the bowling of Harmer. He'd managed to knock 2 more boundaries when he was finally conquered. Beard the man with the ball and Gregory walked for a stunning 34-ball 40. It looked like the end for Somerset when in Beard's next over he dismissed Groenewald for 7, a perilous position for the visitors who needed more than 150 with only 1 wicket remaining. And Beard's next over was the last of the day, clean bowling Brooks for 2, a fantastic spell finishing off Somerset for just 117 and giving Essex a 151-run victory after just 2.5 days of play in Chelmsford. Beard bowled just 9.2 overs in the match and took 7 wickets. A superb day for the ball, with 14 wickets falling in just over 3 hours of action. It's Somerset's first defeat of the season, as victory gives the hosts 24 points, whilst the league leaders gain just 3.